So we are going to discuss about the reactivity series of metals today, of metals. See, reactivity series is nothing but the arrangement of elements or metals in increasing or in decreasing order of their reactivity. Okay, in the form of series, that series is called as reactivity series of metals. So let me write the definition first. Okay, the arrangement of metals in increasing order of their reactivity. There means metals. Okay, in increasing order of their reactivity in the form of series, is called as reactivity series. Okay, so in our reactivity series that we have in our syllabus, where less reactive or most reactive metals, they are kept at the top of the series, medium reactive metals, they are kept at the middle of series, and least reactive metals, they are kept at the down like bottom of the series. Okay, so on that basis we have divided metals into three categories. Okay, in the series I'm just writing the star point, which are very important to understand the reactivity series. Okay, so metals are divided into three categories. On the basis of their reactivity. Number one, we have highly reactive metals. So what are highly reactive metals? Those metals, they react with other substance at a very high rate, are called as highly reactive metals. Okay, and highly reactive metals are kept at the top of series, or at the top of reactivity series, if we can write more descriptive, at the top of reactivity series. Okay, example, we have like potassium, it has symbol K. Then we have sodium, it has symbol Na. Then we have calcium, lithium is also there, calcium, it is Ca. Then we have magnesium, but magnesium comes under the medium reactive. So these are potassium, sodium, calcium are very reactive metals. Okay, even potassium and sodium are highly reactive metals. When they react with water, their reaction is like explosion. Okay,
sir, I've seen a video, sir.
Yes. Okay, now we are going to discuss the second category of metals. So we have medium reactive metal. Medium or moderate, we can say also moderate reactive metals. Means their reactivity is less as compared to the highly reactive metals, but they are more reactive than least reactive metals. and moderate or medium reactive metals are kept or we can say placed at the middle of reactivity series. Okay, example, we have magnesium. I'm just writing the symbols only. Magnesium, we have zinc, we have iron. Iron means the ferrous, its symbol is Fe. Okay, then we have lead is Pb. Okay, etc. These are moderate reactive metals. And last but not the least, we have third type or third category of metals, which is
Least reactive.
yes, least reactive metals. Least reactive metals. Okay, so least reactive metals, they are kept at the bottom of the series. These metals are placed, or we can write kept also, kept at the bottom of reactivity series. Example, we have copper, we have silver, we have gold, it is Au, then we have platinum. Okay, so these are the very less or least reactive metals. Okay, they are kept at the bottom of reactivity series. Okay, so I want you all to take a screenshot for that so that we can move further. Okay, is everyone, it is visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now we have to go through your notes also. Okay, so the see here the arrangement of metals in decreasing or increasing. Okay, it depends on you how you are going to arrange. Okay, it may be increasing or in decreasing order of their reactivity in the form of series is known as, or is it called as, reactivity series. Okay, you know, the most reactive metals are present at the top of the series. See here we have the most reactive metals, and medium reactive metals, they are present at the middle of the series, whereas the low reactive or least reactive metals or elements, they are present at the bottom of the series. Okay, so in reactivity series we have few non-metals also, so that you can ignore that. We had to understand only the reactivity of the reactivity series of metal only. So here we have place like we have potassium, sodium, calcium, they are highly reactive. But magnesium, aluminum, we have zinc, iron, tin, lead, they are medium reactive. And we have copper, silver, and gold, they are least reactive metals. Okay, so we had to suppose if you want to understand their names according to the reactivity series, you have to remember that, you know, the rhyming sentence. It is, please stop calling me a careless zebra. See, please stop calling me a careless zebra. Instead, try learning how copper saves gold. Okay, if you will remember that, you can derive the word P stand for potassium. Okay, here P stand for potassium, then S stand for sodium, then here Ca stand for calcium, then M stand for magnesium, A stand for aluminum, then careless, here we have carbon, but which is non-metal. Here Z stand for zinc, there I stand for iron, then T stand for tin, tin is Sn, then here L stand for lead. Again you can see here again in how we have hydrogen, which is again non-metal. Then we have copper, as name we have copper, then S stand for silver and G stand for gold. Even you can write here in last platinum. Okay, platinum. Platinum is also the least reactive metals because platinum and gold and silver, they are used in jewelries. Is it? So this is the way you can remember the reactivity series as well as their order. Okay, now we have to discuss how this reactivity going to help us to identify which metal going to replace with another metal. Okay, suppose here we have zinc. Suppose we have one substance called zinc sulfate, ZnSO4. Okay, and suppose if we will react ZnSO4 with any element at its down, suppose we have not zinc, we have the upper element, suppose we have aluminum. Suppose if we are going to react zinc sulfate along with aluminum, so we have to check. See here, aluminum is more reactive than zinc, is it or not? Because aluminum is at the top of the series, or it is above the zinc metal. Is it? Is it, everyone?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
Yes.
sir. It
Yes.
will become aluminum
Yes.
sulfate.
Yes. So aluminum will going to replace zinc from here because aluminum is more reactive as compared to the zinc. That's why that highly reactive metal aluminum is going to replace zinc, which is less reactive than aluminum, and aluminum will form aluminum sulfate. But the thing is that aluminum and zinc have different valence. Okay, so we had to, like, suppose here on SO4 we have its valency is 2, and we know aluminum have valency 3. So now we have to cross multiply like this. So we will have Al2SO4 thrice. It is Al2 bracket SO4 thrice. So it will form aluminum sulfate and zinc will get released out from here. Okay, and if we want to balance the reaction, we have to multiply here by 2 coefficient, here by 3 coefficient, and here by 3. Now the reaction is balanced. So see here how aluminum has replaced the zinc from its salt. Okay, so this is the way we can identify which metal is going to replace which metal. Okay, that's why this reactivity series is very important. Understood, everyone?
Yes, sir.
So,
Yes, sir.
so that's why in order to understand the displacement reaction, you have to remember that series. Okay, because suppose sometime what happens if question will come, what will the product of ZnSO4 and any metal which is at the lower of the zinc? Suppose we have copper. So what will be the product? So copper is not going to replace zinc, is it or not? So the no reaction will take place. Okay, so will remain as it is without reacting ZnSO4 and copper. So you have to understand the concept. Okay, beta. Suppose if copper sulfate is there, suppose we have CuSO4 and then we are going to react with zinc, then we know zinc is more reactive than copper. So zinc is going to replace copper from its compound. So it will form ZnSO4 and copper will get separated out. Here reaction will going to proceed, but here not. Is it or not? No, no, not here. Here it is not going to proceed the reaction. Understood, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. This is the main concept behind the reactivity series. You can identify whether the metal is going to replace or not on the basis of their reactivity. So again, I want you to take a screenshot for that. It is very important. Huh? Vishnu, are you getting the point, beta?
Sir, I'm getting the point.
Okay, good. See, now we are going to understand the reaction of metals. Reaction of metals with water. With water. Okay. So first condition, highly reactive metal. Highly reactive metals reacts with cold water. Okay, number 2, medium reactive metals reacts with hot water or with steam.
Sir, I think I have an example of medium reactive metals.
Yes, we will go through that one by one, don't worry. Then third point, least reactive metals not going to react reacts with water at all. Okay, understood? Everyone? These are
Yes, sir.
the 3 conditions that you have to remember. Okay, so now we have highly reactive metals like potassium and sodium. Now we have to check the reaction of sodium and potassium with water. So I'm going to write over here. So reaction of sodium or potassium or sodium with water. Okay, so first we had to write description, or we will understand the reaction first and then we will write the description for the reaction. Okay, suppose we have beta potassium metal. It is potassium. Okay, K is the symbol of potassium. And when potassium is going to react with water, and we know water have formula H2O, is it? So in water,
Yes, sir.
H2O, we have hydrogen, oxygen and hydrogen bond. Is it? So
Yes.
when potassium approaches oxygen atom for the formation of bond, that oxygen,
It forms hydrogen, sir.
yes, replaces that hydrogen atom from here. So we can say in water we have H and OH. That water molecule break down to form H positive ion and OH negative ion. Okay, H positive ion and OH negative ion. See, this is the metal. Potassium is metal, and metal have tendency to lose electron. And metal, when we lose electron, will form potassium positive ion. So here potassium have positive ion, and here OH have negative charge. So they are going to attract with each other to form potassium hydroxide. So in this reaction, KOH, it is potassium hydroxide, will form. And these, electron will going to attract toward the hydrogen positive ion, means hydrogen will going to accept that electron and will form hydrogen gas, and hydrogen gas will release from here. So in order to balance the reaction, we had to write here twice potassium, twice water molecule, twice KOH and hydrogen gas. Okay, and when that hydrogen gas going to comes in contact with air, it catches fire. Understood, everyone? It catches fire. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now we had to write the description for the reaction. Okay, so let me write the description for the reaction. So same way we can write reaction. So we had not, we do not have to write that much descriptive reaction. Huh? We had to just write only like here, potassium, twice of potassium plus twice of H2O equals to, they are going to form twice of KOH plus hydrogen gas. That's all. Okay. That's all. So we have to write the name of the reactant and product. So it is potassium. So I am writing here potassium. Potassium. It is water. It is potassium hydroxide. Potassium hydroxide. And we have hydrogen gas. Hydrogen gas. See that upward direction arrow shows it is going to release into the atmosphere. Okay, so now we have to write the description for the reaction. Okay, here. So I'm using the blue ink for the description now. Okay, when potassium reacts with water. See, I have not mentioned cold water, hot water, or steam. Potassium is going to react with all water, like it is in steam form or it is hot water or cold water. That's why I have not mentioned here. It can react with hot and cold water also. Okay. So when potassium reacts with water, gives or we can say forms potassium hydroxide. Potassium hydroxide. And hydrogen gas is releases. Hydrogen gas is releases. Okay. And now I'm writing here little description about the hydrogen. When sufficient hydrogen gas releases in atmosphere or gas comes in contact with air, it catches fire. That's why the reaction of potassium and sodium with water is explosive. Okay, understood everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I want you to see, as you know, like potassium and sodium, they are highly reactive metals and they can react with air also, because air contain oxygen, air contain water vapors, okay, and other gases also. But sodium and potassium, they are going to react with oxygen as well as water. Okay, that's why they stored or kept in kerosene oil. Okay, so that they are not going to react, they are not going to form sodium hydroxide or sodium oxide. That's what they used to store in kerosene oil. Okay, student, understood that?
Yes, sir.
Now we have to check reaction of sodium with water. So here we have sodium.
Sir, I have doubt.
Yes, beta.
Sir, when potassium and sodium are being extracted, then they react with air.
Excuse me, sir.
So sodium when reacts with water.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, beta.
Sir, can potassium and sodium react combine with each other, sir?
See, metal, they do not react with each other, but they can be mixed each other to form alloy. Okay, they are not going to react with each other to form another compound, but they can mix with each other. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sir, thank you.
So we have to understand the reaction of sodium and water. So again, that water contains H and OH, and sodium is going to react with that hydroxide ion, hydroxide part of water to form sodium hydroxide, NaOH. And again, hydrogen gas will release. Okay, so I'm just balancing the reaction. So I'm writing here 2 coefficient, here 2 also, here 2. Okay, so Now we have to write the name of reactants and products. So here it is sodium. Sodium. It is water. It is sodium hydroxide. Sodium hydroxide. And hydrogen gas. Hydrogen gas. Okay. So I want you all to write description for the reaction. How will you write? When sodium reacts with water, gives sodium hydroxide and hydrogen gases releases. That's all. Understood?
Yes,
Very
sir.
simple. Yes. So you have to write description for the reaction. It is homework for you. Okay. So it is the second part. Now we are going to discuss about the reaction of moderate reactive, means medium reactive metals with water. So we know that we already gone through that moderate reactive metals, they are not going to react with cold water, but they can react with hot water. Okay. So now I'm going to write the description. First we have to understand the reaction and then we will write the description for the reaction. Okay. So suppose we have magnesium, Mg, and magnesium is moderate reactive metal when it is going to react with hot water. So I am writing here hot water, but hot water even contain H2 also. It is H, nothing but the H2O. So I am writing here Mg plus H2O, and here I am writing hot. So it is hot water now. So when we know magnesium have valency 2 beta, magnesium have valency 2 and hydroxide ion have valency 1. So we will have 2 hydroxide ion and 1 Mg. So product will be Mg in bracket OH twice. We have MgOH twice. Okay. So the product will be Mg in bracket, we have to write OH twice. It is magnesium hydroxide. So one water molecule will give us only one OH. So for 2H we will have 2 hydroxide ion and hydrogen gas will release. Okay. So this is the reaction. This is the reaction beta. Okay. Now we have to write the description for the reaction. So description for the reaction is when magnesium reacts with hot water gives magnesium hydroxide and hydrogen gas is released, and hydrogen gas will release. Okay. So this is the description for the reaction and this is the reaction. That one is reaction. Okay. So you have to write name here. It is magnesium, it is hot water, magnesium hydroxide and hydrogen gas. It is homework for you. Okay. Everyone understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now take a screenshot for that also. Now we have aluminum and zinc. They are again moderate reactive metal. Huh? Moderately reactive metals. Moderately reactive metals like aluminum and zinc, they react with steam to form their hydroxide and hydrogen gas will release. hydrogen gas will release. Okay, so first reaction I'm writing for aluminum. So when aluminum, it is going to react with water in the form of steam, hot steam. Okay, so it is going to form AlOH thrice, because aluminum has 3 valency, so will require 3 hydroxide part of the water. So in order to balance, here we have to write 2, here also 2. For 2 aluminum we will have 6 hydroxide group, and then we will have 3 hydrogen gas molecule. Okay, so this is for the reaction of aluminum with water in the form of steam. So here we have aluminum, here we have water, here we have aluminum hydroxide. And here hydrogen gas. Next reaction we have for zinc. Again, zinc is going to react with water in the form of steam to form zinc hydroxide, ZnOH twice. We know zinc have valency 2, so we will require only 2 hydroxide group and hydrogen gas will release. So again, we are going to write the name. It is zinc. It is water in the form of steam. Here we have zinc hydroxide and hydrogen gas. Okay, so this is again the second part of the moderate reactive metal. They are going to react with water, but in the form of steam only. They are not going to react with cold water and hot water. Okay, understood everyone? Everyone understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now again take a screenshot for that.
So,
Yes.
so could you explain how to cross multiply again?
Okay, we had to discuss in the second part after that. So just take a screenshot, then I will decide. I will explain you how to decide the product. So here we have understood how metals are going to react with water. So we know that water, like highly reactive metals, they are going to react with cold water, but medium reactive metals, they are going to react with hot water or the hot steam. But the least reactive metals, they are not going to react with water at all. So we do not have to write a reaction for that. Okay, so we have covered that one, and it is not going to react. Okay, so this part is done today. Okay, understood everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we will have to complete our session here only, because we have completed our 1 hour session beta. Okay,